Cartoons were a big part of my childhood. There was no counting the amount of hours that I sat in front of SpongeBob SquarePants or The Simpsons or like 7,000 of the really other obscure cartoons that were on Cartoon Network and Toonami and all the other channels that were on back in the day. So when very talented people do things like turn cartoon characters into Pokemon, I just need to see what it's all about. This is True Green 7's video. He also made a few follow-ups that you can watch after this that I would also link in the description, but I want to see what this is all about. Whoa! Goodness me,
hey guys, Ron here, and for almost 2 years now, I've been making videos where I turn video game characters into Pokemon. Eventually, I turned anime protagonists into Pokemon. Recently, I've been turning memes into Pokemon. So
it's worth saying that Ron is a very exceptional artist. Like, he just comes up with such creative things, and it's always nice to see how these designs turn out.
It took me this long to finally turn regular old cartoon characters into Pokemon. Some of your favorite Western animation mascots are
It's crazy that SpongeBob was just naked in front of everyone like that. Can't believe they love that. It's live.
Actually perfect as inspirations for this series. After all, my love of animation is the reason I'm even an artist.
Are we getting Avatar in this? Oh, we're gonna get Avatar in this? That's sick.
Considering animation was my career choice before my channel became an option, this kind of video would be a perfect combination of my absolute favorite interests. So please, if you enjoyed this video and want it to become a series, leave a like and subscribe, because it's
Well, Ron, I already did that. See, right there. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Before we even started.
What I was born to do. Western animation doesn't need any introduction. But let me introduce you to Whatnot. Whatnot is an app where streamers host live auctions selling electronics, sneakers, plushes, comics, cards, and more. Kind of like eBay, but
no, there's no way.
See what you're purchasing from an entertaining live stream the seller hosts. At any
buy
time,
so many
you can
things.
log on to Whatnot and watch some streams where verified sellers are showcasing merch for you to cop, like manga, cartoon memorabilia, figures.
Look at that SpongeBob character. Oh, that Cynthia's pretty nice.
Since Pokemon is literally the highest grossing media franchise of all time, plenty of Pokemon merch. It's a great way to auction off your art, posters, or Pokemon cards. In fact, I'll be going live on Whatnot on Saturday, August 19th.
Okay, well that is definitely already happened, but still pretty impressive.
Cards and merch. Not only will you be able to participate in some free giveaways of items like these stellar character posters and iconic figures,
that is really cute.
Each and every one of you $10 in credit to spend on anything you like.
No, Ron, you're too kind.
In my stream or in the thousands of other streams going on 24/7.
Is that still like, can you still do that? I wonder if Ron still gets benefit from like people using this invitation. Oh wow, it still works. You get £10? Damn, sometimes being British really does pay off.
Just go to the description or pinned comment to use my special link to sign up and bookmark my show.
Well, maybe I will.
Make sure to mark your calendars now and follow me on Twitter just in case.
Definitely already happened.
In order to know when we're live.
That was last year.
Sign some stuff if you want, as long as I see you there. So thank you, Whatnot, for this brilliant
Green 7 would sign something for me?
So let's begin by looking at the biggest modern cartoon.
Yeah, baby, we're starting with Mr. Man himself.
Of them all, SpongeBob. Nickelodeon's bread and...
Okay, I do want to play a game with this. I do want to kind of guess what the result of this is going to be. Like the stats, the type-in, maybe the ability, the moves, things like that, because I don't know how in-depth Ron is going to go with it, but I think it'll be a fun little game and something that could provide a little bit more detail and react on top of that. So I'm going to say that this SpongeBob is probably obviously going to be a water type. In fact, I would say it could be just a regular normal. Actually, it could be a normal water type. That's the idea I have. And it would have very good HP, because sponges are quite durable. It takes a long time for a sponge to be worn down, so it would have a lot of health. It might not have a lot of defense because it's literally spongy. It wouldn't have a lot of defense, but maybe it would have good special defense because, you know, he's not the smartest guy in the world, so maybe a little bit harder to use psychic abilities or special abilities against an actual sponge. I mean, you're not really going to use flamethrower on a sponge, are you? It's not going to work. As for the actual stat distribution, I think he's going to have low stats overall. I don't think he's going to be strong. I think he'd have low attack. Maybe he'd have good special attack because he could flip a burger and it would like hit you. I don't know, maybe. And you know what? He has good speed. I've seen that man run. I've seen that man ride a rock for miles. So he's gonna have good speed too.
And butter. And probably the single television show with the most memes. Like I quote Sponge.
And water absorb. Obviously this guy's gonna have water absorb. And then he'd have bubble beam because he's bubble beam. Maybe something to do with catching because he's a jellyfisher. Ooh, or some kind of fire type move due to the fact that he's a fry cook.
More than literally anything. I don't know if that's just the thing that people my age do. Let me know if you're like younger than 20 and you do that, because I constantly quote SpongeBob. But the question is, how do we turn SpongeBob into a fake mon? Are we going to base it on a kitchen sponge, since that's where SpongeBob gets his square pants from? Or more of a natural sea sponge, which is what he literally is, considering his parents look like living sponges. It'll be a cross of both, I think. The real problem is that SpongeBob is extremely cartoony though, and my job is to make it look way less Western. That's the problem we'll have with all the Pokemon in this video. When I was making my anime-based Fakemon,
Oranger, that's pretty cool. It's a fire flying. Is this for Naruto?
Japanese
they get a shiny form too. That's sick.
And turned them into Japanese monsters that already fit into the anime art style, while cartoon characters like SpongeBob have features that rarely exist in Pokemon, like overlapping eyes, not to mention...
It is crazy the difference between Western and Eastern style animation. Like, they are so different. It's very rare that you get Western style animation that is as similar to anime. I feel like there should be more, and there should be more anime that's more silly and goofy and cartoon-like.
Buck teeth. But we won't get closer to figuring out the solution by just standing here, so let's begin. I'm making a relatively natural-looking sponge that I'm slowly shaping into something relatively square-shaped at the
Okay, looks like a
top at least. The sponge is sprouting from a rock on the bottom that I will make look like SpongeBob's clothes. Instead of a thin, noodly limbs, he'll have short rock nubs that he uses to get around.
Rock nubs, okay.
The hard part will be translating the extremely cartoony and Western eyes of SpongeBob into Pokemon's more anime art style.
And the nose is going to be a big one too.
What's even harder is the fact that I don't think a sponge would have uniform round eyes like this in the Pokemon world, but we'll refine it as we go. I gave it a piece of...
The eyes are a big part. I feel like it's just the big eyes. Maybe the most iconic part about SpongeBob, apart from his clothes, or obviously his body is very iconic.
Seaweed on its front to resemble SpongeBob's tie, and some rocky patterns that resemble his belt and shirt.
That's
really
smart.
Added his large pores, I very much decided it makes no sense for his eyes to be that round and symmetrical. So I made them the same random shapes.
Oh my god, it's giving Doodle Bob right now.
Pores, with a more appropriate and goofy mouth.
This is awesome.
Its teeth are actually two pieces of rocks. Pebbles, I guess. Before it looked...
I love how he's trying to make it look like something that can naturally occur in the Pokemon world.
Cute. Now it actually has a similar energy to SpongeBob.
The teeth are so goofy.
And giving it more dimension before adding SpongeBob's colors. What an inviting and familiar color palette. Anybody would recognize it. Are you ready for
That's so cool.
Spongeoy?
Hey, Spongeoy! Oh, it's a water rock type because it has the rock from the seafloor. Obviously, it has Regenerator because it is a sponge. That makes sense. Hidden ability is unaware because he's a little dumb. His special defense is insane. Okay, he doesn't have good speed. That makes sense, though. That makes sense. He doesn't have good attack because obviously he doesn't have good attack. He has high defense. He's made of rock. That shiny form is very interesting. I wonder if that's from something or is it something that Ron made up.
The Patterrz Pokemon, a water rock type. These extremely friendly Pokemon find shelter within drowned tropical fruit under the sea. They are constantly eager and positive. They slowly walk their way up to the beach to greet other Pokemon while laughing. Spongeoy can instantly absorb any liquid that it comes in contact with. When playing, it will gently release bubbles from its pores. In battle, it releases a constant jet of pressurized water. Spongeoy's soft face can take a beating. It bounces back from a hit in an instant. Spongeoy shrivel up and become brittle when the sun is unobscured.
Count the amount of SpongeBob references that are in this Pokedex entry. There's so many. He's done such close attention to detail on this too. Because it sounds like a Pokedex entry, but it also has reference upon reference to the episodes. Like his face bounces back from punches when Flats was just like laying into him over and over again. He walks up and laughs at a Pokemon around him. He has bubbles coming out of him because he's a bubble guy.
At noon, when Spongeoy run out of water, it makes its way back to the sea. Spongeoy sees the...
And obviously it lives under fruits. Oh, that's a big one too.
In everyone. They're often too naive for their own good though. They have the abilities Water Absorb, Regenerator, and Unaware. Their shiny is a reference to Patterrz. I thought it would be tough to design a Pokemon like this. While the face was difficult to get somewhat right, the shape wasn't a problem at all. It definitely has the aura of SpongeBob.
It really does. That's
Next
so
is
cute.
The most recognizable cartoon.
All right, we'll go with Mickey Mouse. Okay, Mickey Mouse. A mouse, obviously, they can dart around. They're going to have high speed. Maybe it would even have high attack. I feel like its defenses is going to be quite low because, I mean, just look at the thing. He's kind of like a skinny little boy. I feel like you could flick this thing and he would probably die immediately. Now, I've never played Mickey Mouse in Kingdom Hearts before because I've never played Kingdom Hearts, and I don't know how he plays in Kingdom Hearts, but maybe Ron has. Maybe it'll be some kind of similar thing. Maybe he'll be a special attacker because he has a lot of magic at his disposal.
Cartoon character of all time, Mickey Mouse. While people know...
Also, you can make this into a marketable plushie because it's no longer copyrighted so much. Or at least the original one isn't. I think that this Mickey Mouse might still be copyrighted and may be still scary to use.
Mickey, he's not the most beloved cartoon mascot. It's kind of like Superman. Everybody knows Superman, but he isn't the most popular superhero in modern times, at least. So let's give Mickey a slight boost in appeal by making him a Pokemon. Now, the first style of animation...
I think the most popular Superman is The most popular superhero is Spider-Man right now. I think it's Spider-Man.
In America was Rubber Hose, where the limbs of the animated characters would move in a curve.
Oh my god, is he going to be stretchy? Okay, for typing, typing is a tough one. I feel like he might be normal type. He could also like sneak in dark. I don't think we're sneaking in dark here. It doesn't really seem like a dark type. I suppose normal.
And stretchy like a Rubber Hose. Disney employed this style as well, so why not make a bendy and stretchy little mouse? How does he stretch? Well, his body will have the properties of ink. Just a nimble little rodent that is constantly fluid. It'll bring back the charm of 1920s.
Fluid, you say? A water type? No, it doesn't make sense. He wouldn't be a water type.
Animation where every character was in a constant state of like flux. I'm starting with circles
really cool.
and some more circles. Instead of arms, the dude will have long ink legs that he stretches. Now, I don't want to give it Mickey's literal snout. It will already look enough like Mickey once the ears are added, so...
Yeah, the ears are the most iconic part of the creature, 100%.
A short button nose is fine, with the iconic eyes, an ink tail that looks kind of like a brush, and the most recognizable ears in history. Keep in mind...
Oh, he's kind of like changed them up a bit, like... Oh, that's so cute.
That they are actually going to be spherical and not flat, since they are droplets of ink, big orbs that bounce around as he walks. This also makes it so that this Pokemon has the famous illusion where Mickey's ears are in the same configuration no matter the angle. Cute smile and a more refined body. It's not fully...
Oh, that is adorable. That's coming together so well now.
White. It'll have the
Ron's doing a great job with these.
With the modern color schemes. Here is Mouse Splotch.
Oh, it's poison. Oh, it's ink. Well, I guess ink is poison. Like, if you ever tried to drink ink, you shouldn't. You don't do that. That's not a good idea. Okay, so it has good speed. It has contrary. That's interesting. It has liquid ooze and has pickpocket. How can it pick your pocket with no hands, you might ask? Well, look at that inky tail. Also, the shiny, I can already tell the shiny is a reference to the original black and white cartoons that it came from. That's 100% the case. And I love how he's using himself as the height comparison as well. That's so cute. Look at this little guy. He's a little dude.
The ink Pokemon, a poison normal type. Mouse.
I wonder why he gave him contrary.
Run around leaving a trail of ink footprints. They are able to extend their tail and legs to triple their usual length, allowing them to jump high, run fast, and grab objects. Their body has the properties of a liquid. Mousesplotch is able to...
The body has the properties of both rubber and gum.
Fit into cracks the size of their tiny eye. They can redirect attacks with their fluid body. They are nigh impossible to grab because they slip through fingers with ease. This cheery Pokemon likes to entertain. It dances and creates art. When its efforts aren't rewarded, they steal a possession or two. Mousesplotch attacks by shooting inks from...
Is Mickey Mouse a stealer?
Ears. To finish off a foe, it will kick with enough force to launch a blinding streak of ink. This messy Pokemon...
With its base 45 attack.
Pokemon is a nuisance to find in your home. They generally avoid water. It has the abilities Liquid Ooze, Pickpocket, and Contrary. Its shiny is self-evident. This is incredibly cute. It's technically not the first Disney mouse I made on this channel.
Mousesplotch is a really cute name too. It just works so well.
A while back, I turned Sora from Kingdom Hearts into a mouse with a key, inspired by Mickey Mouse, so I wanted to make sure to not insert any Kingdom Heart references into this design.
Okay, no Kingdom Hearts. But we do have high special attack because he can use magical powers, maybe.
He's a very delightful guy.
He is a lovely little dude.
The protagonist.
Oh, baby, it's Ong time! Okay, this is the good one. This is the big one. All right, Ong. I mean, I feel like the Pokemon up until now haven't had, like, the best stats. I believe the SpongeBob one had 440 and the Mickey Mouse one just had about 435. So these Pokemon haven't been overly powerful, which I appreciate that these are actual ideas of what could really happen as a Pokemon. It's not power creep. It's not, I'm going to make Mickey Mouse that has legendary stats so he can just murder everyone. But Aang is the avatar. So Aang definitely deserves legendary stats, right? It's going to have huge special attack. Maybe its defenses would be a bit lower. It would have very good speed because he's an airbender. He can get around quite quickly. Jesus Christ. I feel like his ability would be something along the lines of Arceus's that can change his type, or Protein. Oh, that would be a great one. Protein or Libero. So when it attacks, it turns into that type. So it gets a stab boost on whatever it's bending at that time because it's the avatar and it should be able to use every single element to its fullest potential, right? I think that'd be really sick.
It's a very delightful guy.
Okay, Avatar time. Here we go.
Now it's time for the protagonist of not only my favorite animated series of all time, but my favorite show ever, Aang, the Avatar. And
I feel like he might start as a normal type, or potentially a flying type since he started as an airbender. But also being able to change types would be so cool for it.
Airbender. As an airbending master, our Fakemon will also be able to control the wind. As a monk, he'll be very free-spirited and carefree. And as a Pokemon based on the Avatar, he'll probably be able to access tons of ground, rock, water, ice, fire, definitely fire, electric and flying type moves.
And of course, bloodbending.
I mean, we could technically throw in other types like grass into there, but that's not necessary. Since the Avatar is both the bridge between the human and spirit worlds, but also technically a reincarnation of the light spirit Rava, I originally thought the ghost type would translate well.
Maybe fairy type then?
But making our Pokemon...
Actually, fairy type would work pretty well. Like fairy... You could do fairy flying. I don't know if you will, but you could do that.
Fairy type seems more appropriate to represent Avatar powers.
Oh, yeah, he just mentioned. Okay.
Like a flying fairy mythical Pokemon that heavily translates Aang's appearance. The face for now is of a bald little man with a pattern that resembles an arrow. Keep in mind, it's not a literal arrow tattoo.
Yeah, now remember, this is translating an actual person into a Pokemon is a pretty hard thing to do.
To look more special than the average Pokemon, at least. So these Mew-like evolution eyes will do the job.
And this is a great look for a mythical too.
I want to give the impression that this guy is light as a feather with his pose, although that'll change by the end. I'm giving him Aang's air nomad drip, but changed up the pose so he looks more like a fairy, just your average twinkle toes. Throughout the design process, I'm trying to give this dude ears so it doesn't...
He's also free-spirited too.
Just look like a literal human monk. It's giving Krillin right now, when I really wanted to try to give him some flying lemur attributes.
It's giving Krillin. Flying lemur would make a lot of sense too because of Momo.
Momo ears would ruin...
Oh my god, he just said Momo as soon as I unpaused. That's crazy.
The bald silhouette. Originally, I gave him this halo-like antenna, and that also looks like a swirling wind. And I do want to add spiral motifs throughout.
Ooh, the swirling wind at the top does look good.
I kind of overdid it though. The final design will have a bit less spirals. After refining it, I thought the shape of its head was too plain. That's when I added these ears and finally decided to make it a monkey with a swirling tail. This also allowed me to add an appropriate...
I mean, that is appropriate. It's very close to the animals that they hung out with during the show.
When I was adding Aang's color palette. The colors actually fit beautifully. Check out Monk Hair.
Monkey. Oh, look at it. Okay. It is that those stats are crazy. It's very flying type. It's got an ability called Spirit State, which is its only ability, which is interesting. I want to know what that shiny is a reference to. The shiny might not be a reference to anything actually, but it has good defenses. Okay, that's interesting. It doesn't have really high attack and stats. It has good defenses. I guess Spirit State might like double your attack and stats, or maybe Spirit State it has to be so kind of offensive boof, right? Boof. Sorry, does anyone know what boof is? Some kind of offensive boost. Oh my god, I did it again. Surely.
The carefree Pokemon. Monk Air has been discovered after disappearing for 100 years. They are kind, caring, and love to play. They can control wind, allowing them to create balls of air that they ride around on. They can ascend into the sky using a blast of wind and glide down with their loose cape. They create tornadoes by twirling their tails. Monk Air is light on his feet. In battle, it avoids its opponent's every hit. It does not like to strike back, but when its HP goes down to half, its ability, Spirit State, will activate. Now its inner spirit fights.
Oh my god, that's really cool. It changed color just like the Avatar state would.
Unleashing this Pokemon's true potential. In its spirit state, the power of water, ice, ground, rock, fire, electric, flying, and fairy moves are doubled. It's a...
Oh, doubled? Damn, this thing gets strong. That's why the attack and stats are so low, to account for the fact that Spirit State is going to be such a powerful ability. Also due to the fact that Aang he's more of a pacifist. He does not like to get... I don't think... They say that Aang didn't kill anyone during the entire series. I don't know about that. I'm just saying, when he took down those boats, someone died. Like, someone died when he was haphazardly destroying battleships left and right. Someone's dead, but he is more of a pacifist.
Master of the elements. It communes with the spirits and is feared by humans. Monk Air does not enjoy the immense amount of power it possesses. It simply wants to live a life of fun. Monk Air Shiny is reference to Season 3's headband and Aang with his Kuzan drip. The name ended up being perfect for this Pokemon. I can't believe I never associated the fact that Aang is a monk and that kind of sounds like monkey, but also the fact that lemurs and monkeys are both primates. So in the end, I did end up with my idea to combine Aang with Momo.
Yeah, that's really good.
And patterns on this mon too.
That's so sick. Finally, I love it.
A video about
oh man, we got Mr. Bugs over here. Okay, is Bugs gonna be a normal type? Because he's the OG. He's one of the OG. He's the OG Looney Tune. But he also has Toon Force. So I know for a fact that this thing's attack stat is going to be very good. I mean, he should probably also have a good speed stat, but his defenses are going to be low. Maybe he uses the carrot as a held item or a weapon. Or I guess he might just be the same kind of stats as like a Route 1 Pokemon because he's like been there since the very beginning.
Cartoons be without some Looney Tunes representation. Bugs Bunny, the wise rabbit that messes with those Who dare mess with him? Okay, that sounds a bit ominous. The point is, the dude isn't really a prankster. He just wants to live in peace and harmony, and only retaliates when others encroach on his life. Now, clearly Bugs is the easiest to translate into a Pokemon, since he's already a rabbit, but I can't make him look too much like a literal Bugs Bunny. And on the other side, I can't make him look just like a random rabbit. Bugs is famous for munching on a carrot, all Clark Gable style. I mean, Bugs Bunny literally created the myth that rabbits nosh on carrots.
Wait, do they not? Is that not true? But I mean, like if you gave a rabbit a carrot, they would like it, right? A rabbit's allowed to eat carrots? Okay, is this a milk and cat situation? Because you're not supposed to give milk to cats. That they're lactose intolerant. They're not supposed to have like dairy products. At least not a lot. You can have a little bit as a treat, but like not a lot. Contrary to popular belief, rabbits should eat carrots sparingly. What? Because they're high in starch and sugar and may cause gas. Oh, okay. Wow. They're very high in sugar. Oh, I thought the carrots were like the goat food because it makes you see in the dark. Wait, is that true? The carrots make you see in the dark, or is that just propaganda that I was fed when I was a child?
It's true. So we have to incorporate that into the design and make our rabbit Fakemon a grass type that carries a huge, large carrot that it fights with. Hopefully we can translate the Bugs Bunny personality.
Oh, it could use the carrot as like a spear or sword. Or I guess like a baseball bat. Oh, a baseball bat would make more sense. It's more goofy, it's more Looney Tune if you have a baseball bat.
The reason Bugs is so beloved in the first place. I started by literally drawing Bugs Bunny. We'll constantly change the proportions so it slowly becomes a Pokemon with Bugs Bunny features. Simplifying the cheeks is first, but the expression is too human.
What's up, Ron?
That's why I gave him rabbit eyes and opted for a way smaller body. Like, the body isn't close to Bugs Bunny's lanky limbs, but the pose and expression sure is, which helps tie it all together.
I love the pose here. The pose is very Bugs Bunny. The pose and the expression just captures his character very nicely.
Dude is leaning on a giant carrot it uses as a cane and baseball bat. Just adding...
Yes, it's a baseball bat! I'm so glad that you said that. That's what I was thinking. It makes way more sense to have like a bludgeoning object if you're a cartoon.
A subtle leaf color to make it look more gentlemanly, but also clearly grass type.
Maybe grass normal?
Patterns. Almost looks like corn. It's giving me corn vibes, which is good. It should look like he lives on a farm. Leaf-like.
Maybe his ability is like cheek pouch or runaway, because he does run away a lot.
Ears and tail, and then a greener version of Bugs Bunny's color palette with a hint of orange instead of pink that is honestly pretty aesthetic looking. I'm a fan of green and white with orange accents. Check out Harriet.
Harriet, okay, because it's like hair and carrot, okay. So it's a grass type. It does have cheek pouch. It does have cheek pouch, okay, that's what I was looking for. And it has high attack, so because of course, obviously Bugs Bunny is going to have high attack. A lot of the things that it's do, and pretty much everything that it does in the shows is like physical. It's a lot of physical comedy. Contrary is an interesting one. Analytics, so it does more damage if it goes last. Actually makes sense when you consider the fact that Ron said that it just retaliates rather than starts problems in the first place. So if it attacks second, then it does more damage, which is, it makes sense. The shiny is obviously just the regular Bugs Bunny, which looks very nice, and I kind of like that a lot. Oh man, this is so cool. Oh, I love this. This is really sick.
Pokemon, a grass type. Harriet live in spacious holes that they dig using their carrot tools. Harriets are incredibly intelligent, able to fashion all sorts of inventions using their fruits and vegetables that they cultivate. They live peaceful lives and only fight back when provoked. They rarely use their actual abilities in combat though, and would rather outwit opponents, making their own moves backfire. When backed into a corner, Harriet will sprout a giant carrot from the ground and beat their foe with it.
It's so funny.
Carrot's signature move, Carrot Swing, is a physical grass-type move with 110 base power and 100 accuracy. But
it's just like Ivy Cudgel.
Its power is halved when used in succession. It has the abilities Analytic, Cheek Pouch, and Contrary. I don't know if I really like this one because it's green or because I'm genuinely proud of its design. It's the right balance of clearly being Bugs Bunny, but having none of the proportions of Bugs Bunny, who has way longer limbs, bigger...
I think it's because it still has the same character and personality that Bugs Bunny has. The teeth and the eyebrows, the hand on the side, the legs being crossed. He's like leaning and looking towards you. He's got that smug look that just really screams Bugs Bunny.
Head, completely different eyes, cheeks, and color scheme, but it works. If you think the entire video works, leave a like and subscribe.
I thought that was so good, dude. I thought that was really good. And, of course, I will leave in the description the next episode of I Turn Cartoon Characters into Pokemon that looks like Tom and Jerry in the description for you to go and watch as well, so you can get up to date on the newer videos that Ron has made. But if you want to see more of my dumb face, then you can always subscribe here as well.